Hey everybody, Shoebox Legends here. Thanks for joining me for another episode today. This is going to be, to probably nobody's surprise, another quick Juan Soto based video. So with the baseball season now upon us, really getting into and digging these baseball card pickups, have been trying to focus, along with seemingly everybody else in the hobby, on Juan Soto. When you look at his statistics and advanced metrics over the first few years of his career and the success that he's had already at a young age, he's just a very compelling player for me to collect. I'm not much of a prospector or anything along those lines. I generally tend to apply my hobby funds to proven players, vintage cards, Hall of Famers, things like that. But he is one of the few exceptions in the modern game where I just can't seem to help myself picking up more and more of his cards. So today I've got a stack of cheaper Soto cards that were picked up off of Sport Lots and eBay. And these are all going to be headed into my Soto Z-Folio that I'm building, which will be at some point in its lifetime a 360 card Z-Folio completely stuffed with random, shiny and otherwise cool Juan Soto cards. And the first three that I'm going to show here, or the first three sets of cards, were from Sport Lots. And those of you that shop on Sport Lots know, or have experienced shopping on Sport Lots, know that one of the things that you could say, I guess, is a negative about the site is that you often don't see a photograph of your card before you purchase it, unlike ComC and eBay, which are my other two big online outlets, along with MySlabs, for purchasing cards. And the lack of photo can present risk, and I tend to avoid very expensive cards on the site for that reason, but it can also present opportunity, because in some cases, maybe a seller lists the card incorrectly to your advantage. It's not always to the seller's advantage or someone that's looking to try to scam somebody, but maybe an innocent collector just doesn't realize what they have. And so along those lines, I rolled the dice recently and I picked up a few different 2021 Stadium Club Chrome Juan Soto cards. Because there are, two different versions of Stadium Club Chrome. There's the insert out of the Stadium Club base set, and then there's the Stadium Club Chrome standalone set. And thanks to Topps numbering them the same, a lot of collectors may not realize the difference. And then furthermore, in the Stadium Club Chrome standalone set, there are different versions of the card. There's a base card, and then there's a retro card that's done in the style of 91 Stadium Club Baseball, the first ever Stadium Club Baseball release. So I rolled the dice and picked up three different copies of this card. So the first one I got here, as you can see, cost 45 cents with 65 cents postage. So $1.10. So obviously these are not high risk buys. And at that price, I'll roll the dice all day long. And this one ended up being the Stadium Club Chrome base card from the 2021 release. A nice image here of Juan reaching for the sky in celebration after he crosses home plate, presumably after crushing a home run. So this is perfect Z-Folio material. I don't mind having multiple copies of that card or type of card in the Z. And for $1.10, I will buy that card all day long and just continue to stock up on those singles. The next one, again, kind of bought the same card here from another seller. They sent it in this random Ahoy greeting card, so whatever floats your boat. In this case, I paid a whopping $1.25. You can see here with 75 cents in postage. This was a $2 Juan Soto pickup, and to my surprise and delight, it ended up being the refractor version that's done on the 91 Stadium Club, that classic first ever Stadium Club design. So just love how this card glows. I've shown a copy of this before on the channel. I think I paid like $6 for the one that I showed, shortly after the set's release. But as someone who was a kid collector in 91, when this original design came out, and who was actually a member of the Stadium Club around that era, we'll happily scoop these up for $2. So, right here in the first two cards, we've got a version of each of the true Stadium Club Chrome cards from last year's release. Pretty good stuff there. And again, I'm in for about $3 total for those two cards. So you can see how even in today's crazy marketplace, and with Soto being arguably the most popular player in the hobby this past offseason, you can still find deals if you're kind of willing to cast a wider net, as my buddy Eric at those back pages tends to say. And then finally on the Sport Lots front, wrist another one here that came in at $2 plus $1 in postage. So this was a $3 pickup, the most expensive of the three. And once again, to my delight, it was the shiny 91 throwback version of this card. So that gives me 3 total copies of this, which is great because a Z-Folio page has rows of 3, much like a standard binder. And I'll have a nice complete row of that Juan Soto card. Even though I paid, a few bucks for my first one, I'm in for about $10 now for the row of 3. So you can't really go wrong at that price point. Here's a newer one that I got off eBay, and I'm actually going to pull this one out of its top loader. But the Topps Heritage set came out recently for 2022, which pays tribute to the 1973 Topps design. And as they do just about every year, or have for the past few years anyway, in Topps Heritage, they treated us to purple chrome refractor versions of the base card, and was fortunate enough to score this Juan Soto. This came via eBay, and it was a case where a seller put one up with a best offer option. And I always encourage people, just, even if the price is higher than what you would pay, there's really no harm in just throwing out a lowball offer on a card. The worst that can happen is somebody can tell you no. And in this case, this card was listed at $11.99 or best offer, which is not a terrible price, but it's on the expensive side. These aren't serial numbered or anything. I don't know how many of these exist. Obviously, Topps probably printed more Heritage this year than in years past, but it's still not an easy card. Definitely not rare, definitely not even scarce, but I love the way it looks. And I threw a best offer out there of $5. So less than 50% of the asking price that the seller was hoping to get out of the card. And to my surprise and delight, within about maybe 4 or 5 hours, the offer was accepted. Shipping was a very reasonable, like $2. And so for $7 to my door, happy to have a nice purple Juan Soto to kind of spice up that Z-Folio with a little bit of color. So cool stuff there. Let me rearrange these a bit and make some more space here as I butcher that. So another neat one there. Oops. Next up, we have another, we're back to Sport Lots here. This is the last Sport Lots purchase out of today's video. This is a Topps Chrome card of Mr. Soto. It is his 3rd-year card, and I'm just a sucker for Topps Chrome in general. It's one of my favorite releases year in and year out. I understand people that have color fatigue with all the parallels. Totally get it. Can't even say that I totally disagree. I get it that Topps has gone a little bit overboard with all of the many colored parallels that were given every single year. But this is an example of one, and I grabbed them because they were very cheap. His 3rd-year Topps Chrome card, picked up 2 of the pink refractors. So just gorgeous cards. Did show recently his pink refractor rookie card that I picked up from 2018 Topps Chrome Update, which is probably the most expensive and most significant Soto card that I have in my burgeoning collection of the man. And so, to add a couple of 3rd-year pinks, these are perfect Z-Folio fodder. This is exactly the kind of shiny card, much like the Purple Heritage that we looked at a minute ago, that's really going to spice up that album and just make it look really, really nice. And these were available from the same seller, and his asking price was $3 per for those pink refractors. And again, for a player of his caliber, you don't know what the future holds. He might slump this year, get injured. The Nationals may never make the playoffs again as long as he plays. But at this point in time, I'm comfortable absolutely paying $3 a piece for 3rd-year refractors of the man. So really happy with those. Good job packaging them by the seller, and they're going to look great in that Z. And then finally, I have one more pair of cards here. They're different cards, but they were both picked up off of eBay. And while these were slightly more expensive than the cards that we've seen so far in today's video, I definitely did not break the bank on them at all, as we're going to see. So the first is from 2019. So this is a 2nd-year card, his Bowman Chrome card, and it's a refractor. And the lighting in here is a little bit rough on this one, but you can kind of see the refractor element here in the border on the right, kind of that rainbow refractor deal going on. Just a really neat card. I love that it's second year. Obviously, everybody likes the rookie cards, so do I. But I think second year cards can be kind of sneaky good. Bowman Chrome Refractors tend to be pretty popular with collectors. They're numbered every year out of 499, so they have that consistency element to them, sort of like Topps Gold does. And just a different looking photo. A lot of Juan's pictures are him, at the plate, crushing a home run or celebrating after having done so. I like that this is a base running photo. So it's not his most visually attractive card, but it kind of spices things up and provides a little bit of variety in the Z-Folio. And again, that was available. I paid $15 for that card as a buy it now, even with shipping and tax, which was, the shipping was very reasonable. That came to my door for less than the price of a blaster. And so, more expensive, probably as much as all the other cards we saw today combined, but really, really happy to have a little bit of variety and have a pretty significant second year card to put in the Z. And then last but not least, you may be wondering why this Wander Franco, maybe rookie, maybe not, has been hanging out in the background here. So you're likely familiar with the story. I think I've even covered it before when I showed this in the past, but there's a contingency of collectors that believe that the 2021 Bowman's Best Wander Franco is his true rookie card. Topps kind of violated some of their own rules. Some people suggest maybe out of spite and losing their license to Fanatics. And they issued a card of Wander in the Bowman's Best, the base portion of the checklist in 2021, a season in which he played in a lot of MLB games. And so even though his 2022 Topps card and a lot of his 2022 cards have that rookie card logo on them, some folks that I follow in the hobby, Eric at Those Back Pages, I think has been the one kind of sounding the horn most loudly on this, but he's definitely not the only one, feel that that's Wander Franco's true rookie card. I don't know where I come down in that debate. I don't necessarily need to pick a side. I'm going to enjoy that card, and I'm going to enjoy his 2022 cards as well. But I think Eric has a point, and it's hard to ignore. And I do think that could be viewed in the long run as Wander's true rookie card if he has a successful career. And because of that, I've kind of wanted to land a Juan Soto or two from the set, because I've always enjoyed getting cards of star players from sets that are significant because they contain a rookie card of another star player. And so if Wander goes on to be, what some people think he could in the future, which just like Juan Soto is an unknown, I think this Bowman's Best release will kind of be somewhat of an iconic release in the history of the hobby. And because of that, I've been looking at some Juan Sotos from that set and was very fortunate to win this one. This was picked up in auction on eBay, and I think I was the beneficiary of this ending at sort of an odd time. This ended on a weekday in the middle of the day. As a seller, I don't know why you would do that, but as a buyer, I am happy to capitalize on it. And so this card was won at auction for $11, and it is, of course, the Bowman's Best 2021 Juan Soto, but it's the purple refractor. Again, lighting in here is a little bit tough today. I apologize for the background glare, but you get the point here. You can see where the purple has been inserted on this card. And of course, as purple refractors tend to be in Bowman's Best, this is numbered out of just 250. So not an extremely rare card, definitely not an iconic card as far as Juan Soto is concerned, but it's from a set that I think could be considered iconic due to the Wander Franco silliness at some point down the line, and thought it was a pretty compelling add to the collection for that reason. So that's a wrap. Those are the kind of budget Juan Sotos that have kind of come into the collection here over the last, I would say, maybe 3 or 4 weeks, maybe a little bit longer than that, maybe a month or two. But nothing here broke the bank. The most expensive card that we saw was $20 shipped to my door, and most of these other ones were just a few dollars or what you'd spend on a value meal at a fast food joint. And the cards in today's video are really going to spice up that Z-Folio that I'm building here in the early stages, so couldn't be happier. So thank you so much for sticking with me through 15 minutes of Gab and Juan Soto cards. I truly appreciate everybody's support. I hope you enjoyed these, and I will certainly be back in the very near future with more sports card content. Until then, take care and enjoy the hobby.